Hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Leilani. You could also call me Lay. Today I'm going to do an unhaul challenge, or I'm going to unhaul some books, but I have some challenges I want to set myself up for to get rid of more books. Also, there's kids playing in my neighborhood, so if you hear them, they're just having fun, so don't mind them. I have about 3 piles, don't know how many books I have, but some upcoming videos I plan on doing is, I'm going to name it like Love It or Hate It. So any physical books that I have that have been on my shelf for over at least 3 to 5 years, I need to attempt to read them. If I don't like them, gotta go. I'm gonna do Read It or Delete It. So any ebooks I have, if I don't like them, they gotta go. And then also, I think every month starting February, I'm gonna try to do a 24-hour reading vlog every month. So that would like make me read more books faster. So I think I'm moving in about 4 months. I just want to make sure I get rid of some stuff. Some books I haven't read, some books I DNF'd, some books I completed. So these 2 I have not read, but I got them because I believe they're assassin books, and they kind of reminded me of this Fae series that I read in high school. I think it was called like Need or something, the covers did. But we have the first book, The Last Namsara, and then The Caged Queen, and then there's a 3rd book, but the library app that I use has all 3 of them as audiobooks, so I plan to read them that way because yeah, I also got these like discounted, so I'm okay. This has been on my shelf for 3 years, so they're gonna go. Maleficent. I picked this book up because I liked the movie. I wanted to read the book, then watch the movie and do a vlog, but the thing is, it's just gonna be the same thing as the movie, and I'll just watch the movie. There's nothing really special about the book. It feels nice. Well, actually, I don't know if you see it. There's like little thorns, and then pages are black. So it's a nice book. I'm just not going to read it, so somebody else will read this. The next book has been on my shelf longer than 5 years, I think, and it's Othello. And I think I got this at a bookshop in San Francisco. I have not picked it up. Also have no more. I don't know why I picked it up. I think I had an interest when I did, but now I don't. So it's gonna go because I'm not gonna read it. I read this poetry book last year. I thought it was okay. It is You Only Love Me When I'm Suffering. I think I probably gave it like a 3-star. And like a few years ago, like I was in poetry classes and I was like, oh, I'm gonna just pick up a lot of poetry books. This was one of them. Okay, but I'm not gonna reread it, so it's gonna go. This one isn't a poetry book, but it's like One for Sorrow, Book of Old-Fashioned Lore. I read this for a reading vlog last year. Basically, any sayings you've heard of, it talks about the lore behind those sayings. So I'll just tell you the ones I bookmarked. Like early to bed and early to rise. You got, I don't know that saying. That's a weird saying. But basically, any sayings you've heard of will most likely be in here. Thought it was okay. I think I gave it a 3-star. Not gonna read it again. I've had it on my shelf for at least 8 years. So I read this book twice, so I'm not gonna reread it. These 3 books have been on my shelf for ever. For at least 10 years. But it's Skyborn, it's Shadowborn, and it's Fireborn. If I'm gonna be honest, I picked them up because I like the covers. I haven't read it. I attempted to read one book, book 1, so I attempted to read Skyborn. It wasn't for me. I got a few chapters in. I was like, no, I'm okay. But I think I was like in an era where I was only reading books that had like angels on them. So yeah, this is going. I'm just stack all the books over there. Oh, a book I hated that I read for school, The Argonauts. All these tabs. Do I know what these tabs are about? No, because I didn't leave like a guide to what the heck I was talking about. But I had to use this for an English class for my college. I don't think I like this one. I think I gave this a 1-star. Another book that I believe I gave a 1-star, also for my English class, was Leviathan. This is the cover. Here's some tabs. I don't know if I actually wrote on these. Oh, yeah. So because I was so bored, usually when I'm not interested in a book, I'm not gonna remember stuff. So I have these tabs, and it's like, so I could keep track of what the heck is going on in the book. Right? So like if the teacher asked me anything, I'll be like, oh yeah, it happened in this section. Gave 1 star, not gonna reread. 30 Second Anatomy. I bought this because I was in a writing era 10 years ago, and I wanted to do like a book that involved murder, but I was like, I can't talk about murder if I don't know anything about anatomy. Be honest, read this last year, not useful to me. Will be useful to someone else who's in anatomy. 5 Feet Apart. I read this before the movie came out. This is such a beautiful cover, and you know, I'm never gonna read it again. Never gonna read it again. I was like, oh, I'll reread it and watch the movie and do a vlog. I won't, because I think I gave this book a 3-star, and there was a section that I really hated, and I was like, I'm done with it. So you hear the little kids. Not gonna reread. Someone else might like it. I really just love this cover. It's so pretty. Next one, The Whisper Man. I'm not a big thriller, horror, mystery type of reader anymore. I think in in high school I was. Now I'm more into like romance, fantasy, maybe a little bit of sci-fi. But if I want to read this, I'll just listen to the audiobook. For me, like any other thrillers I have on my shelf, I'll try to read them this year. Probably would get rid of them. So, The Whisper Man, going. Ooh, this book, The Host. I read it in high school, and then I watched the movie, and I really liked this because I believe this was Stephenie Meyer's first adult book, so this was like after Twilight. And I liked it, but if I'm gonna reread it, I think I want a better copy, or I'll just get it from the library. I don't need it on my shelves. I haven't read it since I was in high school, so it's been years. It could go. It could go. Something I read last year. I don't remember. I think I read the whole thing. Actually, I don't even remember if I read the whole thing or not. The Haunting of Hill House. I wanted to read this and watch the TV show. Still haven't watched the Netflix show. Beautiful cover. This is an Owl Crate edition. Hated the book. I think I did finish it. I think I gave this a 2-star. Didn't care for it. So, gonna go. This was a gift. Wild. I know there's a movie with Reese Witherspoon. I'm not gonna read it. I think, yeah. I didn't even read chapter 1. I don't know what that is, but I didn't even read chapter 1. It's been on my shelf for at least 5 years. Not gonna read it. Other books that have been on my shelf for at least 8 years. Not 8 years. I'm a liar. How long has these been on my shelves? At least I've been here almost 3 years, so maybe like 4 years. So it's IQ and Righteous. This is like detective mystery. I was going to do a reading vlog last year, and no. You know, sometimes you just gotta tell yourself, no, it's okay. It's not for you. So I decided to unhaul these books. If I decide I want to read them, my library has audiobooks of it, and that's probably how I would consume it. Because I believe when I was listening to the narration, I liked how the audiobooks sound. So, right now, gonna go. Let's see. Poetry Era. The Sun and Her Flowers. This was also a gift. I think I gave it a 3-star. I have notes on here. I put some poems have dark topics, pacing issues, and placement. The favorite poems that were in here were the ones I liked when she talked about her mother. I think I gave it a 3-star. I have some tabs, but I don't plan on rereading, so I'm going to get rid of. Another book I'm going to get rid of, I believe I DNF'd this. It is The Murder Complex. Has been on my shelf for at least 5 years. No, I think it was the writing that I had an issue with. I didn't like it at all. And I think I read about 5 chapters. No, not it. And I think I really just got it because, oh, it says she trained to survive. He's programmed to kill. And I was like, that sounds fun. But it wasn't. I couldn't do it. You know, sometimes you buy books for the covers. And because of that, you don't know that they belong to a series. This one I didn't read because it's a series and it's not the first book. It's Every Thug Needs a Lady. Like, I was like, damn, this cover's hella dope. It's pretty as fuck. It reminds me of Kill Bill. This is either the 2nd or 3rd book in the series, and there's a lot of books. And I was like, I don't plan on getting all the other books, so gonna go. It's been on my shelf for at least 4 years. Anna Kendrick. I was in my phase of Anna Kendrick, so I bought her book, Scrappy Little Nobody. I honestly got it because I wanted to like hear her talk about Twilight. Let's see. I think I only read 1 chapter. When is this receipt? This is a Krispy Kreme's donut. 2017 is when I got this. So, that could go. So we're getting into some books that I've read and some books that I know I'm not going to read. Okay, so I read this last year for a reading vlog, Angel Dreams. So basically, you know, when you have a dream and you're like, what is the meaning of this dream? This book is supposed to help you. It didn't. It didn't do anything for me. So I was like, no. Ooh, books are falling. The Alchemist. I wanted to read this. I was going to do a vlog. I scrapped it. So it's going to be this, IQ, and then I think Skyborn, and then 2 other series. But basically I was going to read the first book of every series to see if I want to continue the series. I actually just scrapped the whole vlog because I didn't like it. So I got to what page did I get to? Because I have a bookmark here. Chapter 13, page 103, and I DNF'd it. I don't plan on reading this. Notes I have on the back because that's what I do. But more for middle graders. Has action scenes, most likely history lessons, Shakespeare, something I can't read. And the comment at the end, just didn't care for the writing. So, it's gonna go. A book I read for one of my classes. I think I gave this a 3-star. Is Brown Girl Dreaming. I think this was a good book. I think I like a 3 or 4-star. I think this was a good book. I'm not gonna reread it, and I want somebody else to read it. Like the target audience. Something just fell again. But I like how it's written. It's like kind of written in verse. The audiobook I believe was good too. So I think this will be good on somebody else's shelves because I don't plan on rereading it. I think most of my middle grade books I have I'm getting rid of. But yeah, I think I gave that 3 or 4-star. This was going to be for a vlog, The Seventh Son. I have the movie. I've seen the movie and I was like, oh, I want to read the books. So this is actually book 1 and 2 and whatever it's called, The Last Apprentice series. And I was going to read it and then watch the movie again because you see this man? Why wouldn't I? I can't even remember his name right now. I'm so spaced out. But basically, I don't even think they didn't do the whole series like for the movies, so it could go away. I'm not gonna read it. Another book that I was gonna do like book versus a movie is The Knife of Never Letting Go. It's the movie with Tom Holland, KS Walking. I was like, oh, I'm gonna read this. It's been on my shelf for at least whenever the movie came out. Like, shit, when did that movie come out? Like 3 years ago? Question mark? Maybe even longer. I have no desire to pick it up. Let's see, one that I read. I don't remember if I DNF'd this book or not, but I know I didn't like the writing, but I love this cover. It's so pretty. The Tangleroot Palace. These are basically short stories. Each story is like a different... Is it horror? I wouldn't call it horror. Maybe I would. Thriller-esque. But the first one I gave 2 stars. And I think I DNF'd. I decided like it didn't even matter. There's a reading vlog on this one too. So it's when I also read Angel Dreams. Another middle grade book that I did read for school, I think I gave it a 3 stars, is Esperanza Rising. I'm not going to reread it again, but I do have a lot of tabs. And I think I did like this book, but I'm not going to reread it. I wanted to go to somebody who would read it, or if they have the class I had because it was children's literature, they might need this book. Another one for one of my literature classes is Huckleberry Finn. This stuff is short. Never going to read it again. I didn't even care for the writing or the story. Another one for the class for children's lit was Wolf Hollow. Also have more sticky notes. I think I gave this a 3-star and I liked it, but I'm not going to reread it. So yeah, it's going to go. Let me see if there's any like notes in here. I think the problem with this as well is when oh, actually I did. Okay, so blue is Betty, who was a bully in the book. Yellow is any quotes I liked, and then orange was another character named Annabelle, and I think I had to track each character for like an essay I was doing. But Betty is a fucking bitch. But yeah, I'm not gonna reread this. I think somebody else will like it. It's gonna go. Another book that I have read is Kiki's Delivery Service. I was gonna do book versus movie again. I read and listened to the audiobook. I didn't really care for the writing style, and I'm not going to reread it, and I'll just watch the movie on HBO. But yeah, it was a little cute read, like, for the target audience. I think it's basically, like, word for word of the movie as well, so there we go. Another book is Nessa Jared's Gunman. The last reading vlog I just did, the one in Hawaii. I read this as one of the books. hate it. 1 star. 1 star, but the cover's so pretty, and it was a cover buy, and I think that's an issue for me. Like, I really should read synopsises, but look how pretty they are. And 1 star. Going away. I was like, I don't need it on my shelves. Some books that I haven't read, and I was going to keep on my shelves to read them, but the thing is, it's a duology. So, Amber and Dusk. I was going to read this. I like the cover, kind of. This is an Owl Crate book. So I don't even know when this one came out, but it has the author's note and everything, but I haven't picked it up. 2018, so it's been on my shelf for that long, and I haven't picked it up. I was gonna do a thing where like I'll read the series, but my library book or my library doesn't have it physically or on the app, and I have 2 library apps. So I have Libby and I have Hoopla, and it's not on either of those, so I don't plan on reading this. And then another one just like that is Grace and Fury. I think it came out the same year. Has the bookmark. Same situation. My library doesn't have the second book. I'm not going to read it or buy the other one. So yeah, still have the author's note. Sky in the Deep. I love this cover so much. It's a Viking book, and when I read it, I think I gave it a 3 star. I think I enjoyed some parts. I don't think I liked the ending, and I also thought it was going to be a standalone. Turns out there's a second book, but the covers are really different, and I don't plan on rereading this, so I don't plan on picking up the second book. But it's so pretty. This was also an Owl Crate edition, but it's gonna go. It was a 3 star. A book that I got because of the cover, because I was also going to do another reading vlog where it's like books like Twilight. Crave. This has a lot of books in its series. It's a big old chunker. Each book seems to get bigger. I watched somebody else do a whole series reading vlog on this, and I'll probably put it in the description so you could watch it if you want. But I'm not going to put myself through that. I'm okay. No. So it's going to go. Not interested. A book that I might be interested in reading, but I'm not interested in keeping at the moment. And I did try to pick this up. I'm a big fan of like shows. I haven't read King Arthur, even though like I have it here. I haven't read it. But I'm a big fan of King Arthur, Merlin, all that type of stuff. But I watch like movies or TV shows. The Guinevere Deception. This is such a pretty cover. Also Owl Crate. Author's note. I don't know if this is the naked cover. I read some of it, and then I soft DNF'd it, and I never picked it up. But now there's 3 books in the series. There's not going to be matching covers like this. And I haven't picked it up for at least 2 years, and I don't plan on reading it. If I do, the library app I have has it as audiobook, so I'll just listen to it as audiobook. But it's gonna go. These next 2, I think some people would enjoy reading or be upset that I'm unhauling. But you know, that's how life is. Long Way Down, graphic novel. Read the book and read the graphic novel. I gave them both 4.5 stars, I think. The thing is with the graphic novel, it's very, like, I'm not gonna reread this. It's just like the book. I mean, I'll reread the book. I actually love the book. But looking at images of what the content is about, it's not for me. So basically we follow a young boy whose brother just got killed, and you have images revolving around what's happening down in the elevators. I'm not gonna reread it. It's such a great book. If you haven't read or listen to the audiobook, this is a good audiobook. I'm just not going to reread it, so I want somebody else to read it, or have the chance to read it. And yeah, I'm debating, but I think I do need to let it go, because I'm not going to reread it, because it's too hard, you know. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it makes me want to cry every time I read this. And then looking at images along with the words, not ready for that. But great book. I would recommend. I would recommend graphic novel, audiobook, and regular book. All the above. Another one. This one might piss people off. This is the last book I have on my shelf right now until I do the Unhaul challenges. Lore Olympus Volume 1. I asked for this for Christmas when it came out, and it's so pretty. It is so pretty. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to pick up the other volumes. And my best friend, who I'm going to move in with, has other volumes. So we don't need 2 copies of them. And if I want to read it, I could just read her volumes and or support the webtoon. Because also the webtoon has music to go along with some of the chapters. But those are all the books that I'm going to unhaul at the moment. I know there's more. So these are some of the books that I'm going to start unhauling. I think I'll do another unhaul video in April before I move. The goal now is to do the unhaul challenges and the 24-hour reading vlogs every month so that it's easier for me to get the physical books off of my shelf. If there's any books you would like to save on my shelf, maybe I'll give them a try. Just leave a comment below. If not, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!